So today our focus is going to be on questioning. So we are going to read a short story today, and then we're going to be focusing on questioning like as we read. So the reason that we ask questions and things like that as we read is because it helps with us remembering what is going on in the story. So what I usually have my kindergartners do whenever we work on that is we start out by making a prediction, and that helps them kind of get focused on what our story is going to be about. So basically I just read the title to them, and then they kind of make a prediction. So this title is called The Scholarship Jacket. So if you were thinking about that, is there any kind of a prediction that you would make? Like, what do you think based on that this would be?
Somebody will get a scholarship.
Yeah, someone will probably get a scholarship, yeah. So we're going to read, and then as you're reading, you either confirm that or you say, no, that's, my answer is wrong. It's actually this. And sometimes in stories, especially like we read a lot of picture books, obviously. And as you're reading through, you're like, oh, I think, this is going to happen. And then you turn the page and really, it doesn't happen. Or sometimes it does happen. So we teach them, okay, well, you have to go back and you have to confirm or deny what your prediction was. So we're going to practice that today. So I have some sticky notes here that you can use, and I even have my kindergartners sometimes use those as well. And basically they can use the sticky notes to jot down notes and things like that. So if you want to use them, you can. And we're going to read this together, and then we're going to go through it together at the same time. So here's a pencil if you need to use your sticky notes. So it is The Scholarship Jacket by Marta Salinas. Do you want to start? Or?
Sorry.
You start? Okay.
The small Texas school that I attended carried out a tradition every year during the 8th grade graduation. A beautiful gold and green jacket, the school colors, was awarded to the class valedictorian, the student who had maintained the highest grade for 8 years. The scholarship jacket had a big gold S on the left front side, and the winner's name was written in gold letters on the pocket. Okay, so I'm going to stop there because I already had a question as we were reading that. So my first question that I had, and I jotted it down, is who is a valedictorian, or what is a valedictorian? Do you know what that is? No.
Okay, so then that would be something that you would stop and ask. So usually if you are able to work in a group or whatever, you could ask a friend, or you could ask your teacher, or sometimes as you keep reading, it kind of tells you what a valedictorian is. But a valedictorian is the person who has the highest grade when they graduate high school. So they get to wear like a special tassel around their neck, things like that. So and a lot of times they get scholarships from college. So,
did you get one?
No. I was not valedictorian. I wasn't too far away from it, but yeah, I was not valedictorian. I got scholarships, but not those. So I can go ahead. Do you want me to read the next chapter? Or the next little paragraph?
If you want.
My oldest sister, Rosie, had won the jacket a few years back, and I fully expected to win also. I was 14 and in the 8th grade. I had been a straight-A student since the 1st grade, and the last year I had looked forward to owning the jacket. My father was a farm laborer who couldn't earn enough money to feed 8 children, so when I was 6, I was given to my grandparents to raise. We couldn't participate in sports in school because there were registration fees, uniform costs, and trips out of town. So even though we were quite agile and athletic, there would never be a sports school jacket for us. This one, the scholarship jacket, was our only chance. So even right now as I'm reading that, I'm also making connections, which connections are part of comprehension too, because then if you can connect with the character in the story, then it makes you feel more invested in the story, and then you remember it a little bit more. So is there, like, I know that I can kind of connect with this character because whenever I grew up, we didn't have a lot of money. We were poor. And so there were a lot of things that, I missed out on because we couldn't afford it because, unless I earned it.
Mm-hmm.
So, is there anything in here that maybe that you can connect with?
I'm a straight A student now.
Okay. So, there you go. So you can see how she is feeling and things like that. So, you are getting A's, you're doing great. So with her, she's saying, if I keep my grades up, then I can get scholarships too. So you're making that connection with her. So there's a lot of stress on you probably to keep your grades up.
Yeah.
So she's feeling that kind of stress too.
I already had stress with the test. Honestly, I did really good on it.
Yeah, did you have a test today?
I had it last week
Okay.
for social studies, but I really didn't study that much for the break of the Sundays.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's okay. Sometimes it's okay to take a break and just, kind of relax a little bit. Do you want to read the next one, or do you want me to?
I can read it.
Sorry, it will burp out of your face.
It's okay. In May, close to graduation, spring fever struck, and no one paid any attention to class. Instead, we stared at the windows and at each other, wanting to speed up the last few weeks of school. I despaired every time I looked in the mirror. Pencil thin, not a curve anywhere else, called beanpole and string bean, and I knew that's what I looked like. A flat chest, no hips, and a brain, that's what I had. That really isn't much for a 14-year-old to work with. I thought as I I can't say that.
That's okay. Okay, so we're gonna stop there. Here, I'm gonna put your connection right there. So when we look at this word, it's this. So we have that first. I crossed over the T, but we have that part first, and then we do the middle part, and then we have the ending.
So it's absent-mindedly?
Yes. Perfect. Do you know what that means?
No.
Okay, so absent-mindedly is if you're like in a daze and you're just kind of like wandering around. So you probably do a lot of things absent-mindedly. Like they say a lot of people, when they're eating snacks or watching TV, then they're absent-mindedly eating.
Yeah.
And you're not thinking about it, you're just doing it.
Yeah, that's what I do sometimes.
Yeah. So you can connect to that. Do you ever just like leave your class and kind of just, you're like, I know where I'm going, but I don't need to think about getting to class. So, yeah. So you're making a connection to her. So that's what she's feeling right now, too. So, right there.
Wandered from my history class and...
Bert, quiet.
And remembered my PE
Bert,
shorts.
quiet.
History class and the gym. Other hours sweating and basketball on display. PE shorts were still in the bag under my desk where I'd forgotten them. I had to walk all the way back and get them. Coach Thompson was a real bear if anyone wasn't dressed for PE. She said that Sushi's out was a good forward, and once she even tried to talk Grandma into letting me join the team. Grandma, of course, said no.
And do you know why the grandma said no?
Because they didn't want me to join any sports.
Mm-hmm. Why though? Do you remember? It's in that first paragraph. Or sorry, second paragraph. Starts right here.
We couldn't. Oh, registration fees.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So probably the grandparents can afford it.
Yeah.
Right? Okay. And then, so I want to stop here, and I want to make a prediction, though, because already I'm thinking, okay, this, the girl said, my coach wants me to try out for the team. Grandma's saying no. What do you think the girl's going to do?
Try out, and then once her grandma sees it, she'll join the team.
Okay, so I'm going to write your prediction down. So try out for the team, even though her grandma, probably, really said no, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So, and we'll put it right there, over that paragraph. So I was almost back at my classroom's door when I heard angry voices and arguing. I stopped. I didn't mean to eavesdrop. I just hesitated, not knowing what to do. So already, that would be a word that I might not know. Eavesdrop. Do you know what that means? Okay.
Like someone eavesdropping your conversation.
Yeah, like listening. Yeah,
Mhm.
perfect. I needed those shorts and I was going to be late, but I didn't want to interrupt an argument between my teachers. I recognized the voices. Mr. Schmidt, my history teacher, Mr. Boone, my math teacher. They seemed to be arguing about me. I couldn't believe it. I still remember the shock that rooted me flat against the wall as if I were trying to blend in with the graffiti written there. I refuse to do it. I don't care who her father is. Her grades don't even begin to compare to Martha's. I won't lie or falsify records. Martha has a straight A plus average, and you know it. That was Mr. Schmidt, and he sounded very angry. Mr. Boone's voice sounded calm and quiet. So then to help me continue my conversation, that might be somewhere where I would stop and I would ask a question. Do you have any questions about that paragraph? Because I know I do, but I want to see what.
Yeah, who they're arguing about her and then another girl.
So like why?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, great. That was my exact question. So why are they arguing over this girl? Like why? Okay. All right. I'm gonna listen, and I gotta go get my phone charger. I'll be right back. You can read.
Look, Joanne's father is not only on the board. He knows the only source in town. We could say it was a close tie, and I'm pounding in my ears drown at the rest of the words. Only a word here and there filter through. Martha is Mexican. Resigned. Won't do it. Mr.
Schmidt.
Schmidt
Yeah, that was hard.
came rushing out. Luckily for me, went down the opposite